Stop button. Stop button. Speech off.
Bruh. It's the 25th. You're probably gonna be seeing this like later than you would think. Hold on, let me see. Is anyone coming? I'll say do a wheelie. I was coming over here after class. Golf cart goes by, and the golf cart goes like super fucking fast. And when I hear a golf cart approaching, I just stop because I'm like, okay, you're either gonna run me over or, I don't know, boot me out of the way. I don't know, and I don't want to find out. So, who's that? Whose car is that? Okay, no, somebody's just. I was like, I got time to record, and I'm gonna do it now. You're gonna start seeing college era stuff. When are you gonna start seeing it? Oh yeah, tomorrow, which is the 26th. So, I kind of want to bring this up because, you know, me going up to Hatland, me finishing school up in NorCal, the way that I feel after week 1 of the semester and after my music class was finished is my mom already has someone down here in SoCal. I am thinking, depending on how things go, I will kind of be pushing her away. If by the time I go to Hatland, things do not improve, I am going to be kind of giving her a side hug. My mistake when I went up to OCB both times was that I let them in, both my parents, you know, gave them hugs and everything as if nothing was wrong. Let me tell you what my mom did the second time I went to OCB. Well, both her and my dad. They go to, like, they were helping me unpack, yeah, but what they end up doing is, they stay, like, so the way that the rooms are set up is that you have one room, you have the bathroom that can also be used as a passageway, and then you have the other room on the other side. So you end up sharing the bathroom with your suite mate. That's how it is at OCB. What ends up happening is my parents, they're like, oh, we're gonna leave. They make me think that they left. They haven't left yet. They were lingering, and now I understand, you know, maybe I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they were just a little worried, or maybe they were a little tired, but at the same time, it's like, if you tell me that you're leaving already, then why don't you just head out? You know, that's the thing. They left after I caught them still hanging out in the dorms. Yay me. And now look, I understand, you know, they're worried and whatnot, but I feel like some of my worries get downplayed. But I'm gonna go into why I say my mom already has her blind daughter 2.0 here in SoCal. Whose car is that? Okay, no, it's not. It's not my mom's car, so we're good. Other car. Still another car. Okay. The comparisons that she made between me and the other girl in my music class. It's like, and the way that she'll sometimes bring her up, and, you know, the way that she's brought her up in the past, it's like, okay, you know, when I'm up there in NorCal, you already have someone that's gonna fill the void if there's even a void, which at this point I don't even know if there is. Look, I am grateful for what she's done for me, but at the same time, I do have a feeling that ever since this semester, there's been a little more of a strain on the dynamic between me and her, and it's like, I'm fine with it. I mean, we're not like 100% of the time at each other's throats, and like Thanksgiving's coming up, and we can set that stuff aside for Thanksgiving dinner, or at least the entire day of Thanksgiving. Whose car? Okay, no, that's not my mom's. I can keep going. It's like for the entire day of Thanksgiving, or maybe just for Thanksgiving dinner, to set aside whatever we got going on. I have been feeling upset because it's like, I notice how she is at times. Okay, hold up.
Speak. Sheet grabber.
I'm gonna
Button.
pause. I'm gonna finish this when we get.
Pause. Button.
I'm gonna finish this when I get back home because I can hear
Done.
my mom's
Button.
car.
Pause. Button.
Pause in 3, 2, 1.
Done. Pause. Button. Fast play. Rewind. Current waveform. Current position. 7 minutes. 38 seconds. Done. Pause. Button. Speech off.
I hear another car. It sounded like my mom's car, but I don't think it is. Where was I? Oh yeah. Like, I don't know, after week 1, I've just been shown who she is. Like, I'm grateful for everything that she's done for me, and I'm gonna say, like, she's not abusive or anything, but at the same time, there's some hypocrisy on her end that I don't like. There's a little bit of weakness, I guess you can say. I don't want to sound mean. Whose car is that? Okay, it's not my mom's. Like, I don't want to sound mean, but yeah, there's a bit of hypocrisy. Her questioning my career choices is a little off-putting. I'm gonna tell you this. Once I become a teacher, like special ed teacher, specifically TVI, you know, teacher students with visual impairments, I would stay a teacher my entire career unless something earth-shattering happened that I had to, you know, change careers. But I would never, ever, ever go into admin. That sounds like scarier. Anyways, I'm gonna pause.
Speech on. Pause. Button. Fast forward. 50. Done. Pause. Button.
Alright, I am back home. I am going to tell you what I have been
Done. Button. Pause. Button. Speech off.
thinking. So when it comes to the weight, hold on. When it comes to the weakness I feel is shown by my mom, there are a lot of things. Like what she is willing to put up with from my cousins. What she is willing to put up with when it comes to outings with her cousins, where they're like, oh, each of us pays $50 if we go celebrate someone's birthday. Like, each of us pays $50, and then most of that family drinks, we don't. And my mom's like, I'm gonna tell them it's not fair because, you know, with the drinks that they buy, it costs a lot more. She don't tell them, and she says that she can't. Oh, but when it comes to me, she's like, oh, I'll charge you $20 for me to take you somewhere. Or, which, by the way, I know that she's kind of half-assing it when she says that. Or when she'll be like, I gave her $5 and I asked her if she could buy something from Kohl's. You know those little chocolate balls that come in a box? And I gave her $5. She's like, they're anywhere from 5 to 10. And I had like 5 ones and I had a 50. And I was like, okay, well, we don't really need the 50, right? For this. I give her the $5. And she's like, well, couldn't you have given me like 10? And I'm like, dude, that's like all the small bills I have. And this was on Saturday, 22nd, so not that long ago. She comes back, uses the discounts that she was going to use, brings me the box of chocolates that I asked her for. Like, it's this like small, like it's like a tiny box with these like little chocolate balls that my mom refers to as pearls because I'm assuming that's kind of what they look like. I mean, I don't know, but they're small chocolate balls. Anyways, here I am, like, she comes back, leftover, we had, like, $3.25, so it's like, I was right to give her the $5, and I made the calculation that those things cost, like, $1.75, so we got $3.25 back. Or, well, she did, and then she gave it to me because it was money that I'd given her. So, I mean, I appreciate that from her, that if I give her money for something, or if I tell her, like, if I give her my card and I'm like, can you buy this for me while you're out, just use my card, she gives me back my card, she gives me the receipt, or if I give her cash, she gives me, like, the remainder of the cash, if there's any left over from, like, whatever I asked her to buy. So, I mean, I will give her credit when it comes to that, but it's like, the people that she's so soft on, like C and MF, for example, you know, the 2 elementary school doofuses and their kids, she took a lot from them. And then this morning she gets mad because I wanted to buy some breakfast, and she's like, can you buy something for, you know, my cousin's kid, you know, she's like, can you buy something for your niece? And I'm like, okay, my opinion now, especially after, you know, coming to terms with how my cousin and his wife are, is my mom is responsible for any financial things related to my niece. She decided to do this. She decided to put up with everything she's put up with. You foot the bill for your girl. It was practically your adopted granddaughter. I'm done. So my brother bought the meal that was for her, but my mom kind of seemed a bit upset, and my dad also kind of wanted to, like, admonish me, and I'm like, okay, y'all don't have the right to. And inside my head, I'm thinking about all the times my mom's been soft on other people, and I'm like, I'm not going to be nice to anyone that she's trying to suck up to anymore, because I am not gonna do that. I've seen how this goes. I'm gonna close myself off because I am done. Oh, I want to talk about Chick-fil-A for a second, because that's where I got my breakfast. I got the hash brown scramble bowl. If you put the sauce packet, like if you open the sauce packet, dump it over the bowl, and you kind of swish it around, or you just like stir it with a fork or spoon or whatever, it actually tastes pretty good with the sauce mixed in. I honestly thought that their peppermint coffee and peppermint iced coffee were not going to be something that I would like, but honestly they are. I think they balanced out the peppermint and the coffee flavor, but like I said, if you want to add chocolate syrup or if you want to add creamers, I feel like it's subjective, like the amount that you feel is right for a coffee. For me, it's like 3 or 4 creamers. For a regular coffee, sometimes 5. Sometimes it can be just one kind of creamer or 2. It's like 3 of one creamer, 2 of another kind of creamer. For iced coffees from Chick-fil-A, with the peppermint one, I added chocolate syrup, cane syrup, and like a couple French vanilla creamers. And that seemed to even it out. And also when you get like the sweetened ice cubes at the bottom, that's also pretty good. You know, they're sweetened because of like the creamer. And to me, it's like liquid, or like peppermint chocolate in liquid form, but with, you know, the coffee flavor, obviously. Iced coffee, peppermint iced coffee, I'd say that one, I mean, sometimes you don't really need to add anything to it. Sometimes you can add chocolate syrup, sometimes you can add cookie crumbles, it depends. Milkshake's pretty good. It's the same thing with like their cherry berry seasonal thing, where I was like, I don't know if I can get behind cherry berry Sprite or cherry berry frosted lemonade. It was actually pretty good. Cherry berry frosted lemonade tastes almost like a strawberry flavor, like Tootsie Pop thing. And the cherry berry and Sprite, I would say that was like, I don't know, like fruit flavored. It was giving fruit flavored bubble gum, I think, if I remember correctly, but I only had the cherry berry and Sprite like once. The cherry berry iced tea, that was pretty good. But there were some things where I was like, oh, I can't get behind this, but then I tried it and I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. But anyways, like I said, I try to set aside the thing about their hiring practices. Like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive on Christian businesses' hiring practices, because there are some things that I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And this is after one of my friends at OCB, I believe it was in the 2023 cohort, he's like, Chick-fil-A does not, like, they're not into hiring bisexual employees. And that made me think, and I was processing this in my head for like 2 years, and I'm like, okay, we need to look into the hiring practices, because what if this is true, why do y'all care? That's not how you employ people. I mean, what's up with that? But like I said, I have to look into it, and I have to kind of do a deep dive, and then I also want to include my findings in a video. But anyways, we're gonna move on to Sunday, a couple days earlier. My mom is talking about something that she heard from the Catholic Pope, you know, the not very newly elected, but a couple months in, like, you know, the new Pope. Something about the Dia de los Muertos and Halloween and all these holidays that you can't celebrate because of, you know, Well, I guess the same thing about like demonic spirits and whatnot. And then my dad is talking about how some people are fascinated with death because they have the calaveras and all that. But it's like, I don't know, dude. You're taking it a little too far. I'm gonna share my opinion on how really you should not let a church leader or a religious text dictate your life. You're ultimately punishing yourself, but at the end of the day, it's like you go down that path, go down that hole, and see how you like it. But I do not think you should let a church leader or religious text dictate your life. You're ultimately holding yourself back. I do not agree with it. I think it's bonkers. When was it written? Like a bajillion years ago? And mind you, I think Christianity was made by this guy named Constantine in Rome. I have to look up more details, but I could have sworn that's who it was. So before that, it's like, what did you have? And y'all are saying that what's in Christianity is truth. It's like, okay, so then what did y'all rely on before? Because it's only one dude that made it up, and then who wrote the Bible? So you have to think of that. And I get a little skeptical, but I don't think I can let my skepticism show with my family, because ultimately I'm gonna get flack for it, and I don't want to get flack for it. And sometimes I feel like the only way that I can kind of take out all my insecurities or fears or just like being scared of letting them know that I'm questioning things is by ragging on my brother about the fact that he came from a Christian private school, because there are some things that are kind of rag on worthy about that. Now, okay, the education level was higher, then kudos to you and your school, but at the same time, I don't know. I did find out a couple of days prior to this, though, that we are Baptist, because my mom's like, what are you? Are you a Muslim? Are you a Christian? Are you a Methodist? Are you? And I'm like, okay, well, in reality, I don't even know what denomination we are. But she even asked if I was an atheist. It's like, how can I tell her that I'm questioning shit? But then again, I don't think I want to go there. But my dad stops me, so we're going back to Sunday. He stops me, like I'm washing my hands. He's standing at the entrance of the bathroom. I'm just washing my hands at this point. I'm already done. And he's talking about the Bible and all these different things. And he's like, you should read the Bible. And he's talking about two different versions, King James version and the NASB version, I believe. And he's talking about all these different things, like what's going on in the world and how we're in the end times, because it says that in Revelations. And then he uses the same words that Taylor Alicia and others use, like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And then he's talking about like something else about let the Holy Spirit in, and he talks about how the LGBTQ community uses the Bible and interprets their own ideas to benefit them, and he's like, that's not something you should do, and all this other stuff. And from my understanding, it seems like him, Taylor Alicia, and many others think that Democrats and progressives are going to hell. To all my fellow progressives out there, to all my deconstruction people, this includes Jezebel Vibes, this includes Unreligiously, this includes many other people. I know you don't know me. To those of you, I say, I know you don't know me. To my OCB friends that are progressive, or to anyone who's chill, overall and accepts me. If we ever have to prepare for a rapture, let's meet up somewhere. Let's, I don't know, turn the OCB dorm into like the Hogwarts dormitory and just hide out there. And I'm saying that because I'm honestly sick of this rapture talk shit. I'm just sick of all this stuff, so I'm just poking fun, because you know what? At this point, it's all I can do, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if we are destined to go to hell, or be left behind, you know what? Let's just all meet up. Let's party. Let's, I don't know, hide out in... I have a couple bakeries in mine here in South County that we can hide out in. Also brownie cupcakes, macaroons. If there's any fruit in there, we'll eat that. We'll DoorDash a couple things. Yo, it's Sinners using DoorDash, bro. We'll just make an account, like a group account, and we'll just call it Sinners. Sinners United. But no, seriously, let's find a place, we meet up, we party. If we go over to the OCB dorm and make that like Hogwarts themed, hide there, and then once all that happens, if it ever happens, or if it turns out that there's no rapture at all, and then all these crazy evangelicals apologize, then we come out and we play that theme song, or that song, How You Like Me Now? How You Like Me Now? And we'll be like, how do y'all feel that you were duped? I'm sick of these rapture predictions. I'm sick of hearing that we are in the end times. I'm sick of all this stuff, because it does get scary when you hear that you're in the end times, even though you're someone that's like skeptical. Or at least for me, because it's like, this is what I return to every day after school. Or like every school day, this is what I return to. This is what I'm around. And I have to nod along and agree on the surface, because what else am I gonna do? You know? But it does get scary. Because it's like, oh, he's saying, you need to read the Bible and prepare for the end times. And he talks about like the millennia, and like that each day is like 1,000 years, or each 1,000 years is like a day. I don't fucking understand it. All I know is it's scary. I don't want to prepare for end times. I just want to go on with my life, and I want to do what I want to do, which is, become a teacher. And I want to go, live my life. And most of the time I can shove all these things like in the back burner, but at the same time it does get a little hard to do. And it's like, I hear some people say, live your life the way God planned. And it's like, what if those plans aren't necessarily beneficial to you? Now, I can vibe with the story in the Bible about the rich man that gets basically karma for not helping the poor man. And then he goes to hell. He's thirsty. He sees Moses with the poor man. And he's like, tell the poor man to dip his finger into water so he could give me water. And then Moses is like, no, you can't. We can't do that because there's distance between us and you. I can vibe with that. But at the same time, it's like, if you are pro helping people, but you're also anti-gay, but at the same time so you say you claim to be pro helping the poor. Okay, but you're anti-gay, or basically anti-LGBTQ in its entirety. But let's go back to, you're for helping the poor, but you kiss the feet of a billionaire president and you want to justify everything he does. And then you don't vibe with the idea of free healthcare, especially when you notice that people are struggling. I don't know. I mean, my dad's like, read the Bible, it's interesting. There are times where I feel put off because of how people are like, you need to submit to your husband, you need to do... And it's like, these people use the Bible to basically justify going back to the 1950s, 1960s. I feel like that's worse than the LGBTQ community using the Bible, like interpreting parts of the Bible to benefit them. That is nothing. Okay? That's harmless. Whereas the people who say, this and this and this in the Bible is justified to, go back to like a 1950s, 1960s lifestyle where women were not allowed to have bank accounts and shit like that. No, that's bad. That's fucking bad. Y'all should be more concerned about that. Or church leaders, or people of the Christian faith in general who say, if they hear that a woman got assaulted, they're like, oh, what did you do to lead the man on? Cute. Not. So I'm sorry, I do get put off. And we're actually reading The Handmaid's Tale in English class, and in one of the chapters, Offred actually makes this point of there's stuff being left out of the Bible, the Rachel and Leah story being used to justify what they have what they put the handmaids through, and all this other shit. And it's like, yeah, no. My dad was also talking about going to that church in El Cajon where he went to high school. I'm not going to say the pastor's name, but it was somebody that my dad really vibes with. He says this pastor's an older man. He says he also listens to him on the radio. But this dude was my dad's pastor when he was in high school. I don't think I want to go. Although my dad was like, oh, let me know if you want to go. Yeah, no. I don't want to be prayed over. I don't want anyone to say that I have a broken spirit in me. Because, okay, we were in Northgate Market here in South County. Me and my mom were getting a couple things. This was at the end of week 1. Somebody goes up to me, asks if they can pray for me. I'm like, okay, it's fine. This woman decides to, pray over me and refers to me being blind as having the broken spirit of blindness. Nah. After that, I'm not going to have anyone pray over me. I don't care if it makes me look bad. I'm going to refuse. That shit creeped me out. I'm going to do a deep dive on what I think about exorcisms, what I think about people trying to cast, or like what I think about Christians trying to cast demons out of disabled people and all this other stuff, because I am tired of all this bullshit. I'm done. I'm fed up. Why do you think I talk about all these Christian creators? Why do you think I get heated? It's not for no good reason. I mean, I'm gonna tell you that much. It's not for no good fucking reason. I have been through a lot of shit in my life. People saying that I wouldn't amount to anything. Having just some apathy from people that were supposed to care, among other things. Now I understand that I have done some things myself. But I'm just telling you, like, I'm at a point now where I'd rather keep myself in like a nice little bubble where I'm not hurt, where I have my friends, versus getting hurt again. If I call people out, I call them out. But at this point, some people online are shit. And what comforts me is seeing progressive religious people. Rashida Tlaib, she's Muslim. She's progressive, from my understanding. I think you also got Ilhan Omar. She's Muslim. She's progressive. Jasmine Crockett. She's, I think, a Baptist? Yeah, she's a Baptist. Not an asshole. Surprising considering she's a pastor's kid. But hey, she's done pretty good in Congress so far, so I guess, yeah, she is a well-adjusted pastor's kid. AOC, I believe she's Catholic. She's a Jesuit. I need to look more into like the Jesuit thing, because I believe Pope Francis, just from what my political science professor said, former political science professor, she said that Pope Francis was a Jesuit. So I need to look into that. And some of what I found was also on Wikipedia. So, yeah. It does reassure me to know. And who's the other one? Ayanna Pressley, I believe, in the Wikipedia article says that she was a woman of faith, quote, grew up in a church, end quote. So, I think we're good. I will link the articles about Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and Ayanna Pressley in the description. And I'm fucking tired, so I'm gonna stop. Well, I guess tired, and also just a lot of things are kind of boiling over. So, yay me.
Speech on.
Boy.
Pause button.